Hi everybody, today I'm going to be teaching you specifically how to put value on your non-sexual attention. Now, most of your guys' value, it probably doesn't mean a whole lot unless you're doing things. And there's a big difference between guys who actually, put value on their time and it means something, and guys who put value on their time and it doesn't mean anything. And I'm going to show you the differences so that way you can master your dating game. Because in order to master your dating game, what you have to be is you have to be a really good man. You have to be a man who's strong, able, and capable. Now, this is how you need to be spending your time. You need to be spending your time building your body, building your mind, building the soul, fueling the passion, and developing strength habits. This can be dedication. This can be sticking to a routine. This can be going to the gym. This can be bettering your career. This can be setting goals and tackling them. How you should not be spending your time. You should not be spending your time chasing women or chasing the party scene or killing time by massive amounts of entertainment or wasting time by falling off path. Okay, these are all of the men who like to binge drink. These are all the men who like to smoke a lot of pot. These are all the men that like to do a lot of recreational drugs. These are a lot of the men that are lost and claim that they're happy, but deep down are miserable inside because they don't have anything to gravitate towards. Now, here's what you got to know. Women do not pull back from masculine men. They just don't. They never have and they never will. And just as you would never pull back from a sexy, attractive woman, she would never pull back from a strong masculine man. This means that the more time you give her, the less time you are spending to develop your masculine habits. It's a very fine line that you have to walk. There's a very fine trade-off of when you can designate time and see these women or a woman, and there's a very big difference between understanding the fine line that you need to dedicate time towards yourself. The problem is that men oftentimes don't spend any time for themselves to develop. And then what they do is they use certain types of manipulation to try to get the woman into making her think that he's high value. Here's the key. Women pull back from buttercups who buy them the kisses and the roses and kiss their asses. And what I want you to remember is don't think that I'm a hard ass. Please don't think like I'm ever trying to ridicule you for things that you've done in the past or who you've been with women. But the thing is, everyone's in this program for different reasons. And depending on which reason you're in it for, I can probably reckon that the women who've destroyed you in the past, you've probably been doing a few key things wrong. Now, you must realize men with quote-unquote time to spare are very rarely high-value men. So if you're constantly telling her that, yeah, hey, I'm free whenever, yeah, let's meet up, I'm ready, let's hang out tomorrow. Very rarely are those men high value. Because you got to realize the man begging for a date does not necessarily live the life of abundance. And the man who puts pleasure first rarely ever receives true pleasure deep down. Now, the man who puts pleasure first by chasing the women to try to get sex, or by chasing the women to hopefully get a girlfriend to fill this void, or chasing the pleasure of alcohol and partying or anything like that, he rarely receives the true long-term pleasure of feeling strong and confident in himself and having women naturally attracted to him, because he's not putting in the work. You see, he has time to spare, which is why women don't usually value his time in the first place. And she can sense this when you don't have a lot going on. So what I want you to do straight up is the best way to get a woman is to stop spending so much time with the woman. And I know this sounds counterintuitive. I know this sounds counterproductive to the whole goal. But let me explain. It lets you know that you like them a lot when you're really spending all of this time with them, when you're seeing them multiple times a week, when you're constantly trying to get them on dates, when you're constantly trying to seduce them and do all this stuff that shows that you have a big agenda and a big outcome for how this date goes. It usually never ends up how you want it to, which is why I like to go 1 day per week the first couple months is what I recommend when you're seeing a woman. Because the first couple months, you got to realize, if you want true companionship with a woman, if you want to have a girlfriend, you need to be taking this at a slow pace, because the whole goal and the whole premise of getting a girlfriend is to come to the conclusion and say, hey, our lives are probably better together than they are separately. Oftentimes men jump into relationships even if the lives are worse together and they're just doing it out of comfort to just have somebody. That is not what you want to do. You want to actually screen these women and take it slow, which is why I don't recommend jumping into anything. The first couple months, you want to just date this woman 1 day a week. See her 1 day a week. Make some time for her, but let her know that your time's valuable. And if things progress and if things go well, maybe in the future you're open to seeing her more. What this does is this puts you in the ruler category, the masculine category of setting the agenda of how the frame is set. And it puts her in the feminine position wanting to see her beast. Just like Beauty and the Beast, it puts her in the position of wanting to feel his energy more, to see him more. This is what you want. Living in scarcity, thinking each day that you 100% need to see her is going to cause her to run. Okay, because if you think you need her, she's going to run to find a guy that doesn't. Now, this is why it needs to be an equal fair trade. Your time, your investment into her for her intimacy. This is why men value the intimacy. This is why women value the attention. She wants your validation. You want her intimacy. It's two very different things. The less time you have to give chasing and pursuing, the better. Because men of value have no time to waste. Now, don't get me wrong. You're still going to have to invest some time. It's not like you can just text a woman. Like, let's say you work 80 hours a week and you're grinding. You sending a text to a woman saying, hey, let's meet up Saturday, and not getting a reply will still probably happen because you're not putting in the groundwork to actually nurture that relationship. You're still going to have to invest some time warming her up. You're going to have to invest some time getting her in the mood to actually want to see you. It's not like once you're a high-value man and you're building your business, you're building your body, that you don't have to do any amount of pursuit. You still have to do it, but the thing is being high value makes it so that way once you get this date, once you get her on the date, what she realizes that, hey, by getting to know this man, he's letting me know verbally and telling me like, yeah, I'm busy, I'm doing this, my hobbies, I like to work out, I'm not big into like getting drunk, I like to really just chill and like feel the situation. And by you telling her how you are and being honest with it and being upfront about what you like in a female and what you don't, she's going to naturally know that this guy doesn't fuck around. And here's an example for this. It has taken me 300 hours so far just to put together weeks 1 through 4 into this course as we speak. Do you think I've had a lot of time to see women right now? Absolutely not. But guess what? Me building this, me building my brand, me helping other people, it shows I have value. It helps me speak better. It helps me connect in this world. It helps better my business skills. It helps me develop myself as a man. So that way when I do have time for these dates, it's not like I've just been spending the last 2 years at a bar or club trying to hit on women. I have more value to me. I'm smarter. I'm sharper. She notices this in my speech. And having lots of free time to see her signals low options. Okay, if you have a lot of free time, you probably have a lot of free time because you're chasing her. Now, what you need to know is that 90% of women never value a man's time. Why is this? It's because oftentimes this man's time isn't worth anything. He has no purpose, he has no passion, he has no mission, and he has no boundaries. He doesn't set the rules and the regulations for how he wants this relationship to carry. He's just happy to get a date. So why should she? Why is she supposed to value your time if you don't ever tell her up front that my time's valuable and I need you to value it? And that I'm probably not able to see you all the time because I'm bettering myself. She's not going to understand this because this is why we do not fake high value in this course. We just become high value. Because if you want a girlfriend and you're high value, do you know how easy it is? If you want to brainwash a girl into falling in love with you, do you know how easy it is? If you want to be a strong man that's really respected, and that women gravitate towards and are insanely attracted to, do you know how much easier it is if you just become high value and then apply some tactics instead of trying to learn all the tactics first to a house that's broken from the bottom down? You get what I mean? Or from the top down? It's easier to just do the work. So this man's time isn't worth anything. She might like it for a quick thrill if she's young and in her party years, but you got to remember, she's just trying to find strength. She's trying to figure out what is the best mate. Like, she doesn't know any better because 99% of the guys aren't chasing any sort of mission. Women oftentimes don't even know what to do when a high value man's in front of them. They're so like shocked because it's so tough to find these days a man that's interested in anything besides just drinking, smoking, watching football, and screwing women. So here's what fake high value men do. Fake high value man does not text her back just to play games. This is the type of guy that just doesn't respond for 3 hours even though he has nothing going on, just to fuck with her. And he doesn't ask to see her just to raise interest. Like maybe this guy just like works a job where like he works his 40 hours a week and all he does is watch football on the side, and like she can kind of tell that. This guy's not going to ask to see her just to try to raise interest. And this guy also doesn't build true attraction past the surface level. And this guy tries to pull back from women even if they have nothing going on and they have no other options. Essentially what this guy's trying to do is this guy's trying to learn game and manipulation and tactics. And this man plays games and she knows it. She knows that this guy's fake. She knows that this guy doesn't have shit going on. She can tell by how this guy dresses, how this guy walks, how this guy talks. That's why in the past, if you've tried to pull back from women and it hasn't worked, it's because she probably hasn't seen any value out of you. She hasn't seen that this guy's doing anything with his life. Now, real high value men don't text back because they're busy doing things. Like me, oftentimes, I take 2 scheduled breaks to see my phone because I'm focusing on me and doing stuff. A real high value man doesn't ask to see her every day because they have that much going on. Like if you guys saw my calendar's booked. It's booked with clients. It's booked with calls. It's booked with me going to the gym when I can fit that in. It's booked doing all of these things that I need to do to actually better myself. And guess what? I can build true attraction with a female because when I do have that time spent with them, I know what to do. I know what to do because I understand what it is that she's looking for. And these type of men pull back from women because other options may come into the mix. Sometimes I've forgotten to text women back for 2, 3, 4 days because I've literally been working that much and so invested into what I'm doing. And not only that, other times other women are going to come into the mix too. If I go out or something and I'm charismatic and I'm trying to meet people and I'm having fun, well, guess what? One girl isn't always on my mind. And because I'm constantly chasing my goals and these women love that, it's easier when you're on a mission. It's easier when you have real life experience to show. She loves a man on the mission. The most impressive thing to a woman is going to be masculine drive and ambition. Now, she needs to essentially view you as the stud dude that can seduce her, but also has some provisioning. What do I mean by this? I mean that women is like a double-edged sword. On this side of the sword, this is the guy that has the seduction. This is the guy that can make her wet, make her feel like a woman, has obligations besides her in life. This is a guy that can seduce her. She needs this out of him. However, in order for her to potentially pair bond with a man and want to be in a relationship with him, this guy oftentimes has to have some sort of provisioning. Meaning if this guy's broke, if this guy has no value in the real world, or if this guy doesn't have his shit together, don't get me wrong, fellas, women are horny too. She will still have sex with this man. Don't think she won't. If you're just trying to get sex, that's very easy. If you're wanting higher quality women that are looking for relationships and are wanting to pair bond with a man and like have chemistry, you're going to have some provisioning tactics too. You're going to have your shit together. You're going to have your finances together. You essentially got to be you essentially have to be the man that other man wants to be, and you have to be the man that other women want to fuck. And if you have that, well, now you have the best of both worlds. You have the seduction and you have the provisioning, so she wants to settle down and pair bond with you. This is for the men that are wanting relationships. For the men that are not wanting relationships yet and are wanting to just see women casually or something like that, you really only need this side. But trust me, it helps a hell of a lot more for your mental game and self-esteem to have these provisioning tactics too, because you actually have some value to you, and that's just going to add to your masculine drive and ambition. And she can see that. Now, the less investment you put in makes you the one who's at the higher value, because hour for hour as a man, your time needs to be valuable. Okay, do not let a lot of these women try to string you along for multiple dates or play games or make plans with you and cancel. I want you guys to find feminine women who are genuinely interested in you. Because although I would consider myself high value and I work out and I'm on my purpose, I'm not going to be an 8, 9, or 10 to every woman. But guess what? There will be a lot of women that I am an 8, 9, or 10 for. That's the thing is I want to mess with women who are messing with me. I don't want every girl's energy. I don't want to try to raise every girl's interest by going through the same dog and pony show. You guys need to be finding women that genuinely are enjoying your presence and you're genuinely enjoying their presence. That is how you guys are going to come together. But in order to do this, you have to value your time. You have to value your non-sexual investment, and this is really going to make it easier so you don't get tested by females. If you make it very upfront that your time is valuable in every way, shape, and form, whether that be the first interaction or months down the road, she sees that you're doing stuff. Okay, if I'm trying to get a girl's number and I'm on my way out of a bar or club or restaurant, I tell her, I'm like, listen, I gotta head out. Like my friends are waiting on me, or I got a meeting coming up. Like, listen, I don't got time to chit chat, but like I'd love to grab your number. What's your thoughts? All right, but like take it or leave it. If you're not interested, tell me. Okay, I'll straight up. Straight up, I'm showing interest, I'm showing intent, but I'm also willing to walk away. So important. It makes you high value.